A woman with long dark hair strides onto a stage, bathed in a brilliant spotlight, her form hailed as peak visual perfection. In her dream, a slim, green-haired version of herself sings triumphantly, believing her skinny form makes her invincible. The dream shatters into digital noise as her eye flutters open, pulling her back to a distorted reality. Her own reflection is a shock, the idealized dream crashing against the harshness of the present moment. A part-time job application reveals her name is OK Yeondu, with a glamorous photo that starkly contrasts her current, weary appearance. While applying for a job at a cafe, the employee excitedly recognizes her, recalling he watched her perform live. Yeondu internally seethes, remembering the comeback stage that became an infamous disaster in the idol industry. The employee's careless joke about her past failure is too much, and Yeondu says goodbye, ignoring his claim that he was only kidding. With a grim and determined expression, she walks away, the hurtful words echoing in her mind. She reminisces about her time as the vocalist for the four-member idol group Swan, admitting they struggled to gain popularity. A flashback shows Swan performing to a sparse crowd at the underwhelming Miso Broccoli Festival. In a past meeting, her manager suggested they promote Swan on a TV show, but Yeondu was skeptical about joining a program called Diet. Her manager pinches her cheek, cruelly questioning how an idol could carry so much weight. The words strike deep, as her manager directly blames Swan's lack of success on the fact that Yeondu is fat. The show Diet is revealed, a brutal competition where 50 women fight to lose weight for a modeling contract, and she decided to join. At the show's opening, trainer Park Gun-chong addresses the contestants, promising to help them achieve the change they desire. His smile turns menacing as he vows to polish them, and a chill of fear runs through Yeondu and the other contestants. The competition proves brutal as Yeondu pushes through harsh training on the treadmill and endures meals of minimal food. During a savage game of dodgeball, a blonde contestant is knocked to the ground. The blonde girl looks up in shock and pain, blood dripping from her nose from the direct hit. As her rival lies injured on the floor, a cold, calculating smirk spreads across Yeondu's face. Her actions go viral, and a storm of hateful online comments brands her a villain, with some perversely finding her entertaining. A friend with light blue hair confronts Yeondu about the video of her laughing, but Yeondu shouts in denial. Distraught, Yeondu explains the video was edited in reverse by the production team to deliberately frame her as the villain. She recalls how the show manipulated her interviews, twisting her neutral, media-trained answers into something malicious. Seeing the broadcasted lie, Yeondu breaks down in despair, wondering if she should quit the show. Her friend tries to calm her, reminding her of the show's popularity and the massive penalty fee for quitting. The friend comforts her, encouraging her to see the 3-month program through, since she is, despite everything, losing weight. Once you lose weight, you'll be invincible, her friend says, and Yeondu's expression hardens with renewed determination. A beautiful memory of herself as a confident, beloved singer on stage flashes in her mind. The dream suddenly glitches, and she finds herself on stage wondering if the people who left hate comments are in the audience. The hateful comments flash before her eyes, the cruel words causing her to flinch in her dream. The vision distorts with static as she begins to fall helplessly into an abyss of her own despair. A large, tempting meal is spread out on a table, but an unseen voice coldly asks if she even needs food. Yeondu returns home to her friend's room, admitting that her latest job interview did not go well. Her friend cheerfully suggests finding a job that will help her lose weight, but Yeondu doubts such a thing exists. Her friend pulls up an ad on her phone for an herbal weight loss medicine, promising fast, healthy results. Yeondu hesitates, explaining she can't afford it when she's already broke and staying at her friend's place. Her friend insists, arguing that Yeondu is working herself to the bone and that this is an investment for both their futures. She dismisses Yeondu's stage fright as being all in her head, claiming weight loss will solve everything. As an idealized image of Yeondu singing appears, her friend passionately declares her a heavenly vocalist. Yeondu gently smiles, thanking her friend for the support but politely refusing the medicine, determined to lose weight through her own hard work. In the kitchen, the friend's mother catches her, accusingly asking if she is trying to eat something again. The woman orders her to sit down for a talk, and Yeondu nervously stammers that she was only getting water. The woman bluntly tells Yeondu that she has overstayed her welcome, saying 2 weeks is too long even for an orphan in a difficult situation. Her verbal assault continues, blaming Yeondu for ruining her daughter's future and getting fat while others suffer. Mother's tirade includes a guilt-ridden vision of her own daughter working a menial job, waiting for Yeondu. Cast out and heartbroken, Yeondu cries alone in the snow while stress eating, finding it the only way to silence the bad thoughts. An advertisement for Diet plays on a public screen, featuring winner Aurora and trainer Park Gunchang, promising to save viewers from fat. As the ad for Diet 2 Inches offers a Cinderella story to those who want it, a broken and hopeless Yeondu watches from the cold. In a dark room, lit by an ominous red glow, a hand rests beside a keyboard and mouse. Fingers begin to type rapidly, the sinister red light intensifying with the action. A disheveled, dark-haired woman stares manically at a screen, her face twisted in a frenzy of typing. An online post appears against a bright sky, its title promising to reveal the true face of trainer Park Gunchang. The post's text accuses the trainer of hitting female members and being a promiscuous thug, claiming to have photo evidence. In a flashback, Park Gunchang confronts a woman with green hair, who defiantly admits she spread rumors to ruin his show. He coolly informs her that while Diet 2 was postponed, he was the only one who got fired. The green-haired woman laughs, saying her smear campaign barely made a dent, and admitting she got caught in the end. Stating they're now even, she reveals he knew she was maliciously edited by the show, but chose to do nothing. Her confidence suddenly breaks as she apologizes, realizing he wasn't interested in her, even though she placed third. She gives up, explaining to Gunchang that she has no money for food or survival, let alone a lawsuit settlement. She recounts that her agency ignored her for half a year before contacting her about the lawsuit. A disbandment agreement for her group, Won, is shown as she recalls how her agency quickly dropped her after the incident. It's all over now, she thinks to herself, her expression filled with utter defeat. She cries, joking grimly about her fall from vomit idol to prison idol, before remembering she's not an idol anymore. As she slumps over the table in despair, a subtle, calculating smile forms on Gunchang's face. Out of options, she informs Gunchang that she wants to withdraw the case because there's no settlement money. She flinches as he coldly states that a mistake is still a mistake. Instead of pressing charges, he smiles and makes her a good offer, presenting a gleaming briefcase. The green-haired woman stares in shock and confusion at the briefcase he's placed before her. He opens the case to reveal stacks of cash and a contract for Diet Warrior, leaving her speechless. Gunchang explains his new YouTube challenge, offering a 300 million won prize to 5 people who struggled after his show. He offers her a loan and a chance to lose weight, assuring her she won't have to go to prison. Her mind races with doubt and suspicion, questioning his motives and fearing he'll just use and discard her again. Her hand trembles as she reaches for the 10 million won, a sum that could change her life. With a confident smirk, Gunchang sees her resolve break and says, "Let's do it." Her idealized self embraces her as she makes the decision, let's become a Diet Warrior. Back in the present, Yeondu's friend with the light blue hair spots her on the street and turns in surprise. He runs over and angrily grabs Yeondu, who now has dark hair braided under a cap. He yells at her for ignoring all his calls, while she stares back in stunned silence. He shoves his phone in her face, revealing he learned about her lawsuit against Gunchang and Swan's disbandment from news articles. Yeondu apologizes for causing the group to disband, but her friend furiously calls her an idiot. Wah! His anger melts away as he suddenly pulls her into a tight, desperate hug. Crying with relief, he admits he was terrified that something terrible had happened to her. Her friend studies the Diet Warrior contract on his phone, his expression concerned as he reads the fine print. Sitting at an outdoor cafe, her friend explains that he used the advance payment for debts and is now living in a Goshiwon. Her friend questions why Gunchang would spend so much money, and Yeondu suggests he check out his YouTube channel. They both stare in awe at Gunchang's channel, which has over 2 million subscribers and promotes his own gym. Yeondu deduces that as a successful businessman, 300 million won probably isn't a huge amount for him. While Yeondu finds Gunchang's new show despicable, her friend thinks it's likely just a buzz marketing tactic. She looks at a poster for Diet 2 Inches on her phone, admitting that Gunchang feels extremely suspicious. A promotional photo shows a cool and confident trainer Gunchang with a pink-haired woman and a small animal. Her friend tries to cheer her up, saying Swan's disbandment was for the best since she was being neglected. Looking at an old photo of the group, he remarks that it was exploitative and bound to collapse eventually. With a new sense of purpose, he smiles and says he's going to start composing seriously now. Alone in her small room, Yeondu sits on her bed, a glimmer of hope in her eyes as she realizes 300 million won is possible. She stares at a poster of her former slender self, finding the motivation to fight for that image again. Her goal crystallizes into a vision of herself standing victorious on the Diet winners' podium. The scene shifts to March, showing the impressive modern exterior of the Blue Gym. Inside, Yeondu meets the other 4 contestants of Diet Warrior, who greet her warmly. Yeondu has a happy reunion with a white-haired contestant named Yeonbiol, laughing that her friend is still as frank as ever. Yeondu recalls seeing an article where Yeonbiol, an influencer and the second-place winner of Diet, was sued for spreading rumors. Yeondu, identified as the third-place failed idol from the show, admits she also got angry hearing about the new season. Yeonbiol laughs, saying Yeondu is better off since she herself was sued directly by the show's sponsor, shocking Yeondu. Yeonbiol explains that after getting angry and drunk, she ranted on a live stream about how diet programs are useless and she yo-yoed. She cheerfully concludes that her 10 million won advance payment from the show was immediately lost to the settlement money. Yeondu expresses awe at Yeonbiol's story, while Yeonbiol sagely declares alcohol the enemy and that they should do well this time. Their conversation is interrupted by a brown-haired woman holding a baby, and Yeondu remarks that Yeonbiol seems quite hot-blooded. The woman, Hwang Ju-wang, who withdrew from the show due to pregnancy, explains her 10 million won went to her dog's hospital bills. Another contestant with short, light brown hair asks if Ju-wang's baby is sick, and Ju-wang confirms a congenital heart defect. Jo-hong elaborates that her baby was premature, had surgery, and they couldn't get insurance, leaving the future uncertain. The light brown-haired woman states that her own life is on the line with settlements and lawsuits, introducing herself as Guillaume Bitna, the 6th-place giant office worker. She says she also desperately needs the prize money. Bitna reveals her grandmother has terminal cancer and vows that she won't lose the competition either. Hearing everyone's desperate stories, Yeondu's expression hardens with a new, steely resolve. Yeonbiol smiles and philosophizes that everyone's situation is urgent because their own pain always feels the worst. Yeondu defiantly tells Yeonbiol not to be a braggart and to try to beat her rank this time. Trainer Gunchong arrives with a cat on his shoulder and a pink-haired manager filming, asking if the introductions are done. Wah! The cat, Kun, shrieks in a dramatic, blushing display of surprise, startling the manager. The cat gracefully lands on the floor directly in front of Hwang Ju-wang's baby, Gyuri. Kun and the baby share a heartwarming moment, pointing at each other as the pink-haired manager captures it on camera. In a magical moment, their fingers touch, while the manager continues to film their adorable connection. Ju-wang thanks Gun Chiang for letting her bring the baby, and he kindly replies that babies are always welcome. Ganchong turns to a nervous-looking contestant with purple hair and glasses, Bora, who stammers that she's ready to start. Bora trembles as she sips a juice box, looking gaunt and flashing back to a moment of struggle in the previous competition. With a sudden burst of energy, she shouts, "Revival!" crushing the juice box in her hand with a fiery aura. Bora energetically introduces herself as a bottom-tier webtoon writer, hoping the competition will be her shonen protagonist awakening. Now identified as Nam Bora, the 8th-place cartoonist, she makes a heart shape with her hands and asks for everyone's support. The group stares in disbelief as the table has melted where Bora's juice box was, and Gunchong notes he needs to analyze it. Gunchong begins the briefing, explaining Diet Warrior is a 6-month body transformation challenge. A cartoon cat demonstrates the first mission, reducing body fat percentage while maintaining or increasing muscle mass. Gunchong adds a critical catch. Anyone whose body fat drops below 20% by the end automatically fails the mission. A slide explains that since their current body fat is around 50%, they are prohibited from dropping below the healthy 20 to 25% range. Gunchong moves on, smiling as he announces the second 20-point mission. As the second mission is revealed to be a popularity vote, Ju-hong protests that it gives influencer Yeonbiol an unfair advantage. Gunchong smiles reassuringly, telling the contestants that it won't be that easy. He clarifies that only the popularity vote from the final week of the competition will be converted into points. He continues to explain that the winner of that final week's vote gets a special power. That winner can choose to eliminate 1 hour of another contestant's personal training time. Ju-wang argues this still favors Yeonbiol, but Gunchong simply says, "We'll see," as the other contestants react with excitement and concern. Gunchong introduces the final mission, Look at the Sky, as Bora adjusts her glasses and the cat cuddles the baby. This mission requires them to take and upload daily photos of the sky, their full body, and their diet meals. A crowned cartoon cat emphasizes a key rule. Only one post per day will count toward the mission. Gunshang announces that as a fighting spirit gesture to kick off the social media mission today, his pink-haired sister suddenly fans out a set of credit cards, offering them as a bonus. The contestants stare in collective, utter confusion at the unexpected offer. The scene transitions to the sleek, modern exterior of the blue gym, under the Diet Warrior logo. Outside, Yandu, Bora, and Zhuang stand uncomfortably in matching Diet Warrior shirts, already looking tired. Elsewhere, Yunbiol holds up a selfie stick while Bitna looks on, both wearing the new team shirts. Gun Chang points to a large shopping mall, giving them their first task: buy new clothes for their diet photos within the next hour. The 5 contestants stare in disbelief, questioning the order to walk around the department store in their matching team shirts. The group is horrified as Gunchang announces he will use today's photos for Diet Warrior Subway ads. Holding the baby and cat, Gunchang reassures them that it's just a starting bonus and to shop comfortably, despite the cameramen. Gunchang gives a charming wink, saying he's looking forward to seeing what clothes they'll buy. A 1-hour timer starts on a phone, and with a loud "Start!" the mission officially begins. The scene shifts to the bright, bustling interior of a multi-level shopping mall. A contestant quickly locates the store directory on a digital kiosk. The 5 contestants gather around the store directory, planning their shopping strategy. Bitna worries aloud if she'll find her size in an offline store, determined to make a good start. Zhuang frets about what clothes to buy for the outdoor ads, admitting she hasn't taken a selfie since her weight yo-yoed. Wearing the celebrity cap, Yandu nervously wonders how she should coordinate her outfit. Yunbiol stares at the screen with an excited, money-hungry gleam in her eyes. A bystander's voice cruelly mocks Yondu, calling her vomit idol OK Yondu and causing her to freeze in place. 2 men snicker nearby, judging her for being on another diet program and calling her good content material. The men continue to make cruel jokes about the group's weight, stunning Zhuang, Yunbiol, and Bitna, who overhear them. Bora observes the rude men, thinking to herself that they're not so great themselves. Bora continues to watch the men, her expression thoughtful and unimpressed. Overwhelmed by the hateful comments, Yandu clutches her chest as a panic attack begins. A phone screen reveals the incident is being captured on a YouTube live stream as Yandu collapses. In a car, Gunchang, his pink-haired sister Kun, and Gyuri watch the distressing live stream on a phone. Yandu struggles to breathe, her mind racing with fear that her stage fright is getting worse. The men continue their taunts, callously joking that it's natural to have trouble breathing when you're fat. Snap Yunbiol's selfie stick-mounted phone begins a live stream countdown. Yunbiol starts a surprise live stream, cheerfully announcing the start of Diet Warrior, while framing the 2 hecklers in her shot. Turning the tables, Yunbiol loudly asks her stream if she should interview the men who are picking fights, delighting her viewers. Yunbiol notices Yandu shaking and recognizes it as hyperventilation, asking if she should call the trainer. Panicked about the time, Yondu gasps for the others to go on without her, insisting she's fine. Bora kneels to comfort Yondu, telling her to breathe slowly and that the mission is just a bonus. The team rallies around Yandu, offering reassurance while Bitna offers to perform acupressure on her hand. Yondu screams as Bitna applies too much pressure, who quickly apologizes for not controlling her strength. Zhuang rushes over with a paper bag, shouting for Yandu to use it. Zhuang explains the bag is for hyperventilation and asks a panting Yondu if she's feeling better. After breathing into the bag, Yandu recovers and apologizes for taking up everyone's time while they pat her back. Bitna smiles reassuringly, telling Yondu it's okay and to take the bag with her just in case. Bora encourages Yandu, telling her not to listen to the idiots and that she only stands out because she has a celebrity aura. Giving a huge thumbs up, Bora hypes up Yandu, telling her to go buy pretty clothes. Yunbiol whispers to Yandu to ignore the haters and just focus on the 300 million won prize. Bolstered by her teammates' support, Yandu's resolve returns and she slaps her cheeks to focus. The group realizes that sticking together was the right move, as leaving would have destroyed their public image. Back in the car, the pink-haired woman with a mask turns to Gunchang and asks, "Was that you?" She suspects the conveniently timed hecklers were a setup, thinking it was too perfect for the filming. The pink-haired woman demands an answer, addressing Gunchong directly as Park Yeon-hong. With a sinister smile, she pulls down her mask and taunts, "Who knows? Do you have evidence?" Gunchong coolly replies that they got good footage and that's all that matters. A baby cries. Startled by the tension, Gyuri bursts into tears, shocking the cat Kun. The pink-haired woman relaxes, smugly telling Gunchong he can't get angry based on suspicion while he tries to calm the baby. Gunchong sternly warns her not to play tricks, stating that chasing stimulation will only lead to destruction. The pink-haired woman argues that for a starting photo, the contestants should have been made to wear more revealing clothes. Gunchong disagrees, stating the matching shirts were already a compromise for people deeply hurt by the diet industry. In a flashback, Gunchong recalls watching his former contestants on stage, knowing even then that a yo-yo relapse was inevitable. In a flashback, Gunchong recalls how his former contestants' rapid weight loss was unsustainable, doomed to reverse once they returned to normal life. He remembers how they would inevitably regain the weight, with some becoming even heavier than before. A montage of news clippings shows the grim aftermath for past participants. Yeonbyeol's info leaked, Yeondu's career ruined, and Juwong's baby's health questioned. A feature on the shocking state of past contestants reveals that 90% suffered from yo-yo dieting and other severe health and psychological issues. Hateful online comments attack the former contestants for their lack of willpower, while one insightful user questions the trainer's qualifications. A woman with two-toned hair dismisses the contestants as weak, while the previous season's winner, Aurora, is shown to be thriving. Despite the public backlash and health concerns, the demand for quick-fix dieting was so high that the next season still received over 10,000 applicants. As Gunchong tries to speak, the two-toned woman slams papers on the desk, shouting at him for coddling the contestants. Furious, she withdraws from the project, declaring she won't work with a trainer like him as papers fly through the air. In a tender pink-hued memory, Yeonhong encourages her brother Gunchong to prove himself on the stage they've built together. Gunchong resolves to film the new program, hoping to help those who were harmed by the previous diet show. Yeonhong offers her full support, telling him to conduct the training he truly believes in. With a determined smile, Yeonhong's support solidifies their shared mission. Back in the present, Gunchong worries aloud that Yeondu's panic attack will only spark controversy and derail their goals. TSK. Yeonhong scolds him for spending money, calling him a loser, while the baby surprisingly tells her to use nice words. Yeonhong fiercely reminds him that this is a war for 300 million won, and the contestants are their warriors. At a clothing store, an employee awkwardly tells Yeondu they don't have her size, despite claiming to specialize in free size. The employee apologetically suggests Yeondu try their online store, as the physical shop only carries standard sizes. Outside, a breathless and sweating Yeondu realizes that time is quickly running out. Overwhelmed, she despairs that she can't even think about style, feeling like the clothes are choosing her. Juwong suggests a new plan. If women's clothes don't fit, they should try the men's section. Juwong confides that Yeondu is still better off, as her own height and weight mean even men's clothes are often too small. Yeondu compliments her height, but Juwong reveals her unfortunate old nickname was Signboard because she was so easy to spot. Yeondu fumes internally, thinking about the earlier hecklers and the sparkly team shirts that make them feel like living billboards. A man approaches the contestants, asking about the outfit he is holding. Yeondu stares in shock, her eyes wide with alarm. The group reconvenes outside, where Gunchong asks if they enjoyed shopping before announcing it's time for photos. Gunchong checks on Yeondu, telling her he watched until they all separated, and asking if she is truly okay. Panicked, Yeondu frantically insists she is fine and begs him not to make her withdraw from the competition. Yeonhong watches the scene unfold from behind her mask, her sharp eyes calculating the situation. Gunchong reassures Yeondu that she's mistaken, acknowledging the group's current low confidence. The scene shifts to the blue gym, where Gunchong stands ready with a camera for the photoshoot. Ahahaha. An argument breaks out as Juwong accuses Bitna of going too far, while Bitna defensively insists she isn't breaking the rules. Aim sarcastically mocks Bora for her earnestness, marveling that someone actually says their sound effects out loud. As the cameras flash, Juwong cries out in frustration, disgusted with her own complacency. A hand, revealed to be Yeondu's, ominously holds a pair of scissors behind Gunchong. The group travels through the city streets in a large black van. In the van, Juwong holds the baby and cat, loudly complaining that the social media mission is unfair. Bitna worries about creating a social media account, but Yeonhong notes that YouTube viewers will also vote, and she's even worse with SNS. Yoonbyul points out the obvious flaw. She, Yeondu, and Bora all have pre-existing fandoms, giving them a huge advantage. Ju Wong sinks in her seat, realizing her personal account with only 30 followers puts her at a massive disadvantage. Gunchang tells them not to give up, explaining that every mission has advantages and disadvantages for each person. He encourages them to keep thinking and find ways to turn their personal disadvantages into strengths. Yeondu raises her hand, admitting that as a known villain from the last show, she's probably the most disadvantaged of all. She confesses her fear of having another panic attack and admits she was too scared to even check her old singer account after the last show. Yeonbyul turns to Yeondu with surprising empathy. Acknowledging the stress she endured, she advises Yeondu to start fresh on Outstar with a new account, leaving the haters behind and getting a fresh start. Touched by the advice, Yeondu looks at Yeonbyul with gratitude, calling her Uni. In a flashback, Yeondu recalls how she climbed to third place despite malicious editing, once considered the competition's dark horse. Back at the studio, Gunchang instructs the contestants to reveal their chosen outfits and explain their choices. Yeondu presents a light blue tracksuit, explaining she bought it from the men's section and is ready to work hard. As Gunchang calls for Juwong, Yeonbyul mutters that Yeondu's choice was unexciting and boring. Jeongwang reveals a white maternity dress, explaining she went to a maternity store since regular sizes are hard to find. She adds that she's worn maternity clothes since giving birth because they're convenient for taking care of Guri. The group claps as Bora tells Juwong it's a good way to build her character for the show. Gunchang turns his attention to Yeonbyul, asking what clothes she picked for the challenge. A stylish designer brand spring outfit, a cropped black jacket, and a patterned dress is shown. Yeonbyul explains to a stunned Yeondu that as a fashion influencer, she knows which luxury brands carry her size. Winking, she boasts that overseas brands have more diverse sizing and that she's gained the least weight of the group. Yeonbyul confidently states that weight gain doesn't mean giving up on style, and you can still be pretty. Striking a dynamic pose, she reminds everyone that she was originally a professional dancer. The group applauds as Yeonbyul presents her expensive outfit, privately thinking she can just sell it later for cash. Bitna reveals she also bought men's sportswear, thinking she has nothing to worry about from the others. A massive pile of clothes tumbles out of her bag, shocking her fellow contestants. Bitna cheekily reveals she bought 25 sets in total, exploiting a loophole since the rules didn't specify a quantity. She justifies the massive purchase by explaining that her size is hard to find and expensive, thanking the trainer for giving her the black card. With a determined look, Bitna vows to work hard enough to wear out every single outfit she bought. A wary Juhwang points out to Gunchang that Bitna seems gentle, but is shamelessly cunning, questioning if this is allowed. Gunchang simply smiles, acknowledging there was no rule against it and accepting her move. Gunchang calls for Bora, the final contestant, who cheekily tells everyone not to be surprised by her choice. Ta-da! Bora dramatically reveals her shopping bag is completely empty. Bora explains that she couldn't find her size anywhere, not even in children's stores, so she decided to get the outfit most suited for a diet warrior. With a grin, she reveals that the outfit she bought was for the trainer himself. She explains that her current body needs to be clearly visible to create a dramatic transformation, making it the perfect starting photo. Yeondu worries about their photos being used for outdoor advertising, where anyone can see them. Bora confidently shrugs it off, declaring that she's going to lose the weight anyway. Smiling brightly, she declares this is her fattest appearance ever, and she wants a commemorative photo. When Gunchang offers to photograph the others in the same outfit, Juwong agrees, but Yeondu shouts, "No way!" Bora smugly states that only she has the right to be photographed this way, as she's the one who bought the outfit. She reminds the stunned group that they are obligated to take photos in the clothes they actually purchased. Ah ha ha ha, Yeonbyul laughs, delighted by everyone's clever and competitive strategies. Ah ha ha ha, Juwong calls out Bitna for going too far, but Bitna fires back that it wasn't against the rules and points at Yeonbyul's expensive choice. Yeonbyul deflects, then mockingly points out Bora for actually saying her own sound effects out loud. Juwong yells in frustration, disgusted with her own complacency and for being trapped by stereotypes. Gunchang gets Yeondu's attention, telling her it's time for the photo shoot and asking her to draw a number for her turn. A dark memory flashes through Yeondu's mind as she despairs, thinking she needs to sell everything she can. In the darkened studio, Gunchang calls out that it's Yeondu's turn, and she nervously asks for another moment. The contestants stand under a harsh spotlight, their expressions grim as they prepare for the photo shoot. Yeondu has a moment of clarity, deciding that if she's going to take a before photo, she might as well show her body. With a determined glint in her eye and scissors in hand, Yeondu realizes the heaviest person at the start has the biggest advantage. Gunchang announces the Diet Warrior show will be uploaded every Sunday as Yeonhong films beside him. With a confident smile, Gunchang places a hand on his chest, ready to begin the show. The title Diet Warrior appears over the stage lights. The 5 contestants pose together for their official starting photo, each in their chosen outfit. A teaser image reveals a sharply dressed man framed by the silhouette of a high-heeled shoe. The official show poster features a handsome Gunchang and his companion, Kun, promising a glamorous transformation. A montage displays the contestants' before photos, contrasting their current selves with faded memories of their past. The montage continues with Juwon and Bitna as their posters are installed in a subway station for a public campaign. An ad featuring Yeondu's before photo is prominently displayed on the side of a subway car. The shocking before photos of all 5 contestants are displayed as large advertisements throughout a busy subway station. A frustrated Yeondu starts her day with a grimace. She opens her fridge only to find that everything inside, including her eggs, has frozen solid. Using a diet app, she logs her simple meal of a hard-boiled egg, a banana, and a salad cup. Browsing the Outstar app, she feels a pang of envy seeing other people's fancy, well-plated diet meals. While a man with glasses ignores her in the kitchen, she tells herself that consistency is more important than flashy content for social media. The man with glasses suddenly snaps at her for not paying attention, and she hastily apologizes. He lets out a disdainful smirk as she's left with her humble meal and a crushed eggshell. Outside, she second-guesses her gym choice, but reminds herself she can't afford a more expensive women-only facility. Determined to stay positive, she tells herself not to stress out and snaps a photo of the sky. She sighs, pausing on the street with her phone in hand, looking weary from her morning. Hello. Gunchang arrives with Yeonhong and Kun, marking the tense first workout between the trainer and his former hate commenter. In the gym, Gunchang announces they'll begin with a functional movement and fitness assessment, and Yeondu readily agrees. He offers a gentle, reassuring smile with the small animal Kun still perched on his shoulder. She braces herself, ready for their first one-on-one training session since she signed the contract. Gunchang watches intently as Yeondu performs a series of squats and lunges, with Kun observing from the floor. The assessment continues as she does step-ups, with Gunchang recording her performance on a tablet. They move on to cool-down stretches, and Kun comically mimics Yeondu's pose beside her. Sweating as she holds a difficult pose, she wonders with a hint of hope if this is actually doable. Noticing his passive demeanor, she starts to worry that he might be half-heartedly training her as payback for her hate comments. Losing her balance on an exercise ball, Yeondu falls backward as a shocked Gunchang lunges forward, shouting her name. She instantly panics, wondering if this is his revenge, but he quickly insists he was only trying to catch her. A flustered Gunchang earnestly asks her to tell him if he makes her uncomfortable, even offering to use a pointer stick instead of his hands. Stunned by his sincerity, she listens as he vows to correct any actions that could be misunderstood. Overwhelmed by his kindness, she suddenly drops to the floor in a full bow, loudly apologizing for calling him promiscuous in her past comments. As Yeonhong films, she continues her frantic apology, admitting the trainer did nothing wrong and she'd misdirected her anger. He gently places a gloved hand on her head, trying to calm her emotional outburst. He assures Yeondu he won't go easy on her, but explains that he can't use the same intense training methods from the DD competition. He clarifies that dieting for extreme obesity is entirely different from dieting for being overweight, affecting everything from joints to hormones. For her case, he explains they must focus more on diet at first to avoid a high risk of injury, so the exercise will feel weak initially. He states that his main goal is to give her positive experiences with exercise so she will no longer fear it. Back in the present, he places his gloved hand over hers in a gesture of partnership and support. The next morning, Yeondu lies stiffly in her small bed, exclaiming that her entire body is incredibly sore. She curls into a ball, surprised by the delayed muscle pain, since the workout hadn't felt that difficult at the time. A sudden spasm of pain causes her to flinch, knocking something over on her bedside table. Burying her face in her pillow, she laments that her life is so difficult, she can't even afford the time to be in pain. Staring out at her drab building, she vows to save money from part-time work and finally move out of the Goshuan. Following up on a job text, she meets with a restaurant owner who hesitates upon seeing her, saying it's a bit. When Yandu bluntly asks if it's because she's fat, the owner quickly denies it, calling her weight a blessing. The owner then rejects her for the job by criticizing her resentful expression, leaving Yandu stunned and jobless. While walking through a grocery store, she introspectively wonders if her expression is truly that bad. Wow. Her spirits lift for a moment as she marvels at the beautiful displays of fresh, colorful vegetables. Her excitement plummets when she sees the prices, realizing with a shock just how expensive fresh food is. She considers buying cabbage in bulk for a better price, but worries she won't be able to eat it all by herself. Overwhelmed by the huge selection of salad dressings, she frets about wasting money on a flavor she might hate. She finds herself drifting toward the instant food aisle, tempted by the cheap, large quantity products with a guaranteed taste. In the end, she makes the healthy choice, her basket filled with fresh produce like cabbage, peppers, and bananas. Back at her residence's shared laundry room, she finds the washer already running and hopes the owner will come get their clothes soon. While washing lettuce in the shared kitchen, Yandu regrets not buying more workout clothes like Bitna. She laments having to do laundry constantly, as she only owns 3 long-sleeve tops for exercise. Ugh. Opening the shared fridge to store her food, she's disgusted by the crammed, messy interior. She recoils from the smell of an expired container, wondering why its owner hasn't thrown it out. Suddenly, the man with glasses storms in, furiously yelling at her for touching someone else's laundry. Yandu fires back that she had to move it because it was left for too long, but he tells her to go to a coin laundromat if she is so impatient. Refusing to back down, she retorts that he should be the one to go if he can't pick up his laundry on time, leaving him speechless with rage. The man escalates the fight, accusing her of being the pig in the next room whose snoring keeps him awake. He cruelly continues his verbal assault, complaining that her snoring disturbs everyone and her body blocks the narrow hallway. Yeondu quietly apologizes for the snoring, and the man smirks, satisfied with her obedient response. In her tiny, cluttered room, a defeated Yeondu sits huddled on her bed, overwhelmed by her cramped and difficult life. The scene shifts to a bright, sunny day outside the modern and impressive blue gym. Inside, the gym is pristine, with neatly rolled Diet Warrior towels and a fridge stocked with protein shakes. Lying on a yoga mat in the vast, empty gym, Yeondu takes a moment to herself before her workout. Now in a Diet Warrior shirt with her hair braided, she stretches out with a look of calm relief. She continues her stretches, reaching for her toes in a seated forward bend. Cuddling Kun, she reassures the small creature that she's okay, and the pain from her sore muscles has subsided. Guncheong and Yeonhong arrive, with the trainer warmly greeting Yeondu and asking about her condition. Guncheong maintains a friendly but professional demeanor as Yeonhong stands by, ready to film. Despite her calm exterior moments ago, Yeondu clutches Kun with a weary, blush-faced expression. Looking out at the gym, her true feelings surface as she thinks to herself, "I feel like dying."